We are now just 2 days away until Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and the reviews are in. This morning, the embargo lifted, and all the reviews are starting to pour in about this game, and my job right now is to take all these reviews and mush them all together to give one final verdict pretty much with what everyone is saying, as a lot of them are pretty much the same, and they all agree and disagree on the same points. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Of course, there's no real spoilers here. There's maybe one little tiny spoiler, and I'll talk about it before I get there, so that way if you don't want to hear anything about it, I can actually just lead you to a later part of the video with a timestamp. But before we get started, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. If you're very excited and you're very ready for Mario Wonder, stop what you're doing right now and leave a like and subscribe. It shows a lot of support, guys. We are going to be jumping into Mario Wonder everything in just 2 days, under 2 days. So definitely make sure that you are here for that. Now, let's jump into the reviews. But the general verdict right now, everyone's loving this game. It is one of the greatest 2D Mario games of all time since Super Mario World, and it's one of Nintendo's greatest 2D video games in general. And a lot of people are saying that it is just seriously that good of a game. All the reviews seem to be really good. There's a couple decent ones. There's one bad one currently on Metacritic that comes from Digital Spy that gave it a 70, but right now it's sitting at a 93 on Metacritic, which is pretty daggone good, not only for a Mario game, not only for a Nintendo game, but for a 2D game as well. So it looks like we got our hands full of some Mario goodness. Now, straight up, like I said, yes, this game looks like it's going to be a really good game. That's just the first thing that I wanted to get out. But now we're going to dive into some of the different categories about what people have been saying about these games. I'm going to start off with the positives, and yes, there are some negatives, so I'll talk about those at the end as well. But let's start with some of the positives. The gameplay that you're seeing today comes from both IGN and Nintendo Life, so definitely go check out their full reviews. I'll link them down below. But let's talk about the good. So straight up, Mario Wonder controls like absolute smooth butter. Yes, I actually got my hands on the demo, and I can tell you that yes, it is absolutely amazing to control Mario and friends, and that's exactly what all the reviews are saying. Any type of mistake, any mess up, any death is definitely due to your own fault, as you never feel like the controls are messing you up. It is tight, it is responsive, it is doing everything you could possibly need it to do, which is always a good sign. It is a very, very good controlling game, and also it's a beautiful game to look at and watch. Now, of course, these are things that we've heard of multiple times, but they go into full detail talking about how every little detail of all the characters are shown off, from their expressions of hanging off of a ledge, from their little expressions of picking up items and getting hit by enemies, and the enemy animations and expressions. Everything is crafted with care, including the environments, which are bright and rich with color. As you can see, not a single environment looks dark and dull. Not even the dark and dull ones. Yes, even like the Bowser Castle and underground cave levels look beautiful with the brand new colors. And yes, this is a really good looking game that everyone is stating right now, and that's just something that we could see for ourselves. We knew that this game was not only going to look good, but it was probably going to have really snappy controls, as most of us have played the in-store demo. Now, this is one thing that I've seen praised a lot across reviews, is that the Wonder effect, obviously the Wonder Flower being the main purpose of Mario Wonder, is a huge part of this game. Not only is it just a cool thing every now and then, it is implemented apparently in every single stage. Every single stage, there is a Wonder event, and almost every single one is new and unique. I think there's like a couple, like 1 or 2 that got repeated, but for the most part, you'll be doing new things every single stage, and there's some extremely surprising things apparently. Now, they weren't able to show off any of the new ones within their review footage, but they said, trust me, you are going to be in store for some absolutely crazy ones, which is a really good thing to note. Yes, it looks like this is going to be the meat of the game, which is obvious. You know, it's Mario Wonder. We're going to have lots of Wonder events, but it seems like they are the main core and the main aspect of this game, and that they're so fun. A lot of reviewers are saying that they can't wait to get back to play it. Nintendo Life has stated multiple times that they seriously cannot wait to dive back into the game after they've already completed it, just because they want to replay some of those stages again and re-experience some of those Wonder events, which is saying a lot, because it's not too many times I want to go back and replay a 2D Mario game like the new Super Mario Bros. Games, because I get tired of them. I'm like, okay, I played enough of this. So for reviewers to say that they really desperately want to dive back into this game and play it again already is speaking a lot. Next up, we have the badge system, where they're saying that there are lots of fun badges to play around with and lots of badges to make you go back and replay certain stages in a new way. Now, we have seen 2 of the rare badges with invisibility and the boost run, which were really cool, and they're probably really cool badges to go into levels with and try to beat them all over again. But at the same time, apparently there's a lot more to look forward to as well, which I'm very excited for. I told you that was probably going to be the main replay value of the game, and it looks like that's the case here. These badges seem to be a lot of fun, as a lot of them are kind of catered towards new players in order to help them in case they fall or take damage and stuff like that, but there are some special ones to collect towards the end that's going to make replaying stages a lot of fun. And then for the items, they're pretty much just all fun, all unanimously. Everyone's saying that they're just fun items. I heard the Elephant Mario is the best. The Elephant power-up is just a lot of fun to be a big tank and smack people out of the way and throw water at things. But I've heard mixed opinions about the Bubble Flower. I've heard some people say that they really enjoyed it. Some people said that they just really didn't like it as much and it didn't really do a lot for them, as a lot of the time you didn't need it and it just felt like they'd rather just go with a different item instead. But I also heard that the drill is a lot of fun as well, but there's only certain terrains that you can drill in, as some will not let you drill. But for the most part, everyone really loves the items and they're really fun brand new additions apparently. But overall, I've heard that there's tons of challenges to complete, tons of fun levels and collectibles to go back and collect, and it will take you a little while to collect everything, and overall it's just a really fun, really polished, really good 2D Mario game, and to some, very, very good 2D Mario game. We're just gonna have to wait and see for ourselves. But what about the negative? Is Super Mario Wonder perfect? Well, it doesn't seem so, as there's a couple of things keeping it from being a perfect 10 out of 10 game. Well, the first thing being, apparently it's not that difficult. Yes, a lot of reviewers are saying that this game is a breeze to play through, and which is funny because a lot of the devs were coming out saying that this game was going to test us and that this game was going to be very hard, and we were hearing rumors that playtesting said that this was a very difficult game. Even the developers came in and talked about how some of the collectibles were so difficult they just could not beat them even to this day, and that getting the last badge was even a very difficult thing for them. But listening to everybody that's reviewed this game and even people that's played it early, they're saying that it's very easy. In fact, extremely easy for the most part, you know, so I don't really know what Nintendo is talking about. I don't know if that's just like the gap between Nintendo and consumers, where they think things are hard where we don't. I don't know. Maybe it's just a skill issue for them. I don't really know. But at the same time, it looks like this is going to be an easy game. I know a lot of people might like that though, especially the younger crowd and people that are new to 2D Mario. But yeah, it looks like it's not going to have too much difficulty, which could be a negative for more experienced players and pretty much anyone that wants a little bit of a challenge. Now, as that could have been looked at as a minor complaint, I've also heard that the game is pretty short, which I also kind of expected. I feel like every Mario game ever is pretty short, except for maybe Mario Galaxy that stretches it out a little longer than most. But Mario games 2D and 3D normally tend to be very short and very easy to complete. They're just very fun experiences, and I expected that being another 2D Mario game. Yep, it's going to be a very short game overall, and we're probably going to blow through it very fast, probably most of us over the course of the weekend, but it's still going to be a very fun experience. It just may not last as long as we'd hope, which leads me to the post-game, which apparently there's not much of a post game. Yes, there are some extra bonus levels, and there's about like a couple of challenges or something at the end, but it doesn't seem to be any real big reward or anything crazy to change the post game and really make you want to go back and do other things. I guess that's where the rare badges come in, and then maybe going back and collecting the rest of the collectibles, but that's really about all we have, it seems like, for this game, so it doesn't have any crazy post game content. And right now, it doesn't look like we're getting any special extra character either, which is kind of disappointing. And now the final one has to do with boss battles. So if you don't want to hear anything about boss battles, completely skip off. This is pretty much the end of the video, so you can pretty much be done by now. But this is your warning. It's very small, and I feel like lots of you guys might want to hear this, but it's completely up to you. Now, some of the reviews I've watched didn't even bring these up. IGN and Nintendo Life didn't even mention this. And at first I thought it was part of the embargo where they couldn't, but I'm like, it's a game they had to review. I feel like this is something that they had to talk about. And then I found some other reviews later on that did bring this up. Now, this is something that got leaked to me a very long time ago. I think about a week ago, I actually started seeing some of this, and I was confused for a while. So here we go. I'm diving into this thing. I kept seeing Bowser Jr. boss fights, and I'm like, why is no one posting or leaking like actual boss fights? That's because there are none. You heard me right. There's just Bowser Jr. fights, and I think there's only 3, maybe 4 Bowser Jr. fights in the entire game, and then there's a final boss fight. Yeah, that's kind of lame. I don't think there's any other way to put it. This is very weird for a game with so much love, so much detail, and so much characteristic with the wonder effects. How in the world did they mess up the boss fights? Now, I can go on this forever. Seriously, I'm probably going to make a separate video all about this topic. If you guys want to see that, it might be up later, or maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Just stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's weird because the devs also talked about this is one of the first things that they worked on before even diving into some of the levels and stuff. They were very focused on making boss fights better this time around, they said. This was literally in an interview. I don't remember which one, but I remember them talking about it. So a lot of people thought like the boss battles were going to be very wacky, and they talked about how they were going to take, use of the wonder effects and stuff. They're all Bowser Jr., every single one, with a slight wonder effect that kind of changes the room. And after watching all of these, I can personally say that these are probably the worst bosses in 2D Mario history. I'm talking history. I don't understand how this happened, and maybe it's just Nintendo didn't want to focus on bosses in this game. Maybe the main focus is just the Wonder Flowers and the levels and stuff, and they wanted more levels than to focus on bosses. There's no towers. There's none of that. It's just a final boss battle of, I think, 4 of the 7 worlds that are Bowser Jr. Some of the worlds don't even have boss battles. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. You can look at them online. I'm sure people have already posted them on YouTube. I think I saw some thumbnails already, so you're not going to really get spoiled with anything with those, because I don't know how they're going to make thumbnails with that. It's just straight up Bowser Jr. Yes, Kamek isn't even a boss, which is so weird because we know that he's in the game. I think he only has like certain elements for specific levels, or maybe the end of the game or something. I don't know. But yeah, that is definitely a disappointing factor to me. And to me, it's kind of a big deal as someone who really loves boss fights and have seen tons of boss fights. I mean, all of us have been saying, Nintendo, please get rid of the Koopalings. They did. This is what we get, I guess. With no Koopalings, you're just getting Bowser Jr. It's kind of sad. It kind of hurts me, I'm not going to lie. As some game this unique and clever, I really expected some fun boss fights with the Wonder Flower events. But it is what it is, I guess. Now we know why Nintendo didn't show off the boss battles and kept showing the same one, because there's only 4 of them and they're all Bowser Jr. So yeah, I'd be lying if I said this didn't slightly decrease my hype a little bit, because it kind of deflated me, I guess you could say. It let me down a little bit. I was really looking forward to some unique boss battles and stuff. It's not going to ruin the game by any chance. I don't think it's going to make the game unenjoyable now. But it is something that I really wish we would have gotten. But also, as a real quick thing, IGN did note that the music this time around isn't really memorable. It's just kind of like some here and there catchy tunes, but it's nothing that's very memorable for Mario, which also is a little bit of a disappointment, because I like always carrying tunes from Mario games and remembering them and humming them and stuff. Even from the new Super Mario Brothers games, there were tunes that I would hum and stuff. So that's a little bit of a letdown. I did listen to the soundtrack myself, and I can also confirm that there aren't many pieces of music that I was like, oh, I'm going to hum that all the time. Like, I'm going to remember that one. Like, yeah, it's not very memorable. It is a little bit of a letdown, but I am so excited for this game, nevertheless. These Wonder events sound to be, like, some of the best level design gimmicks that we've ever seen, and I can't wait to see them all for myself and play all these Wonder events and see which ones are the best and the worst. It's going to be a lot of fun. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this review roundup. Do you like everything that you've heard? Are you upset by some of those negatives? Let me know in the comments down below, especially the boss battle thing. I really want to know how you guys feel. Are you okay with it just being Bowser Jr.? Definitely let me know. But leave a like and subscribe before you head out. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.